Hi, I am Vinay Deshpande. Welcome to the series of conversations showing up in life with Vinay. Today, I am speaking with someone who has 30 years of experience in corporate life in supply chain and operations roles. He pursued his passion for ice hockey in his mid 40s, and after retirement, he is now a consultant, a career coach, and a LinkedIn expert with more than 14,000 followers on LinkedIn. Let's meet Vaclav Sulista. Hello, Vaclav. Good morning.
Good morning, Vinay.
How are you? You're back from holiday.
Yes, fully recharged. Very happy to be back in the office. A little bit warm, already reaching 30 degrees in my office, but that's summer.
Yeah, so Vaclav, thank you very much for joining me in this conversation. I really appreciate your time. And in general, just to give a background in context of this conversation. So as you know, I'm working with people in those who are going through change and helping them in navigating through change and really excel in their lives. So what I call as really helping them to show up in their life. And that's in that process, I realize there are a lot of people around us who are actually doing that, who are really managing that, and they could be really inspiration to many others. And I see you one of them. That's why I was really hoping that you agree to come on and talk to me. So thank you again for that.
I thank you.
Yeah, as I said, it would be nice if you could just introduce yourself, let us know, everyone know what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll do it briefly. So my name is Vaclav Sulista. I'm 59 years old and I'm coming from Czechia, born in the famous beer city of Budweis, where the real Budweiser comes from, not the US style beer, but the right one. I studied analytical chemistry, met my Swiss wife there after my master's in 1986, and we have a really love story for Bollywood or Hollywood. We got married 2 days after the fall of the Berlin Wall, after spending 41 days together, which has been spread over 3 years. So typical long distance relationship without internet. So all communication was mostly done through letters. And we still have all those letters in the boxes and we didn't touch them since then. So this is our story. Now I live in the area of Basel and work as an independent business and career consultant. And I have 3 adult daughters and 2 granddaughters, 13 and 6 years old. And in my free time, I'm a passionate ice hockey player. So I'm the crazy guy who tries to catch the puck in the back. I'm not very successful with it, but it's a big fun. And it was my childhood dream to be an ice hockey goaltender, which I realized at the age of 46. So now I'm in my 13th season. Yeah, and in a side function, I'm a honorary consul of my homeland Czechia here in Basel, Switzerland, which means I'm helping my compatriots with their documents, power of attorneys, certificate of living, and I'm trying to help companies from Czechia to give them access to the Swiss market. So basically, yeah, and I'm still happily married with the same lady, and we are very happy together. We bought the house 10 years ago in Esch, which is close to Rheinach, where my office is.
Excellent. That's such a wonderful story to hear. And it's always a pleasure to hear your stories, Vaclav. Well, I already realized the pronunciation. So it's Vaclav, right?
Václav,
Václav.
like pizza. And my second name is Joseph. That's why I tell people, okay, if you cannot do Václav, so call me VJ. This is like DJ more. You know, I have a very clear saying: if you would like to get your name pronounced correctly, stay at home. You know, and I think you have made the same experience, that your first name is pronounced in different ways as well. So
yeah, most of the time people confuse it with Vijay, which is Vinay and not Vijay, but that happens. Yeah,
I think it happened to me in the beginning as well. Now I'm able to discriminate those.
You already mentioned so many things that you do, and you had a great career for so long in supply chain. So you've been doing so many things, and I really wonder, where do you get your energy from?
That's a good question. I would say I don't know. I am like this since my childhood, and for sure, if I would be today at school, they will for sure give me Ritalin because I'm a clearly hyperactive and hyperactive personality. That's it, and I was like this all the time. So I think it's a character or some wiring of my brain. I don't know. I'm get up at 6 and I'm full of energy, and around 10 o'clock in the evening I collapse, and then I sleep for 8 hours, and then I'm very fresh again. So I don't know where it comes from. It's somewhere like inner fire, sacré feu, as the French call it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But usually, as people, or most of the time, we say that if there is a purpose that drives you, then you automatically get that energy. So, is there something for you like that purpose?
Yeah. So I would claim that we are like a service family. So my people used to serve other people, help other people, and my sister as well. So I think this is like a family tradition, and basically help others and trying to make the world a little bit a happier place or better place. That's something which, at the end, we are all sort of egoists because it does us good to do the good deeds. That's why we are doing it. If it wouldn't do something good to us, we wouldn't do it. So basically, this is it. It makes me very happy to help. And this is the reason why, for example, I'm doing the honorary consulate, because this is unpaid work done in your free time. You carry a lot of costs with it, but you do a lot of good stuff. And at the end, the business develops on the side from the back somehow. So basically do good deeds and the universe will pay it back.
And one thing which actually I remember, your passion for your country, Czechia, and everything that you persistently followed up to get that the short name for the country. So tell me a little bit more about what made you so passionately follow up for that.
I think that it's not there is a multi-layer of information and of reasons, multiple layer. I would say, and the most important one, I was all the time very interested in languages. So we learned language. We had Russian from the 3rd class, English and German very early. So basically, at the age of 14, I was able to talk 3 languages on a pretty good level. So I am someone who is used to articulate itself as precise as possible. And this is one of those reasons. And the second main reason is that I came to Switzerland in 1990. And those 2 years, 90, 91, 92, has been full of clashes between the Czechs and Slovaks, which led to separation of Czechoslovakia to Czechia and Slovakia. And when my most loved homelands, Czechoslovakia, fell apart, I was completely shocked. And if they told me in Switzerland, the new country is called Czechia, I hated the name like crazy. I will never say this. I would only call it Czechische Republik. This sounds like a noble name, and Czechia sounds like a piece of crap. This was my opinion those times. And then you hear it, the short name around you, because in Switzerland, most of the people call us Czechia. And you suddenly realize that you are using the name yourself, the name you hated a few years ago. And this was the reason that I realized, okay, we need a short name as a country for our country branding. The same case is India, it's Republic of India, but nobody calls India Republic of India, because India is for sure much more than Republic, because India was here 5,000 years ago, and a lot of wisdom was already created at those times. So I'm truly convinced that every country needs a short name as a clear brand. This is the one reason, and you need a name which describes the country in the entire historical time frame. So for sure, Czech Republic is absolutely okay in diplomatic protocol. There it belongs. Yes, I'm a proud honorary consul of the Czech Republic in the Swiss Confederation. Yes, and if I talk to the ambassador with the official title, I address Her Excellency, the Ambassador of the Czech Republic to the Swiss Confederation and Principality of Liechtenstein, because this is her official title. It's okay for the passport. But I can imagine, how can the Republic play sports, for example? I see like a bunch of papers running around on the sport field, like the Constitution runs on the field. So let's keep the formal name to very specific occasions, something like a tuxedo. something you carry on specific occasions like your wedding or something very, really special. And let's keep the short name for the daily life, like sports and so on. My second argument is that Czechia spent in the last 29 years since the emerging of the new states, like $70 million on the advertisement of the Czech Republic. And the result is that the Czechoslovakia, which everybody was laughing about in the 20s, as a ridiculous, awful name, is still more known than the Czech Republic in the world, which is a clear proof that the formal name could never be a brand, because Czech is a bank Czech is a control, and there are 160 republics in the whole world. So, and this is a death of every brand, because the brand needs to be clear and unique. India, this is a brand. Nobody cares if you are a kingdom or republic or federation whatsoever. This is those are like the two main reasons. So I hated it at first, got used to it, and now we definitely need a brand as a short term for our country marketing.
In that conversation, I realized it was a time when you kind of followed up for really getting that as an official short name registered everywhere. And you must have actually, so that's a change process, and you must have kind of felt resistance in many places. So, and that needs probably the resilience to really get up and really follow up with all that stuff, whatever comes up. So, yeah, tell me, how do you build? Where do you get that resilience?
I think I am here something like a bulldog, or a pit bull. If I have a goal, and the goal is clear and logical to me, and I start to work on it, it's like it energizing me all the time. And the resistance was really, really fierce. So you won't believe it. In the beginning, I was getting death threats. After the registration of the short name, I was getting death threats, and people called me that I'm a neo-Nazi, Russophile, Zionist, betrayer of the nation, and some labels like that, because it sounds similar in Russian. So the resilience comes from the purpose. And again, the purpose was to serve my country. And I truly believe that the country needs a short name, that it's a fight which needs to be done. It's basically a fight for a sound human thinking, for logic. It's simply logic. It's logic to use short names for countries. That's why I'm doing it. And so it was really, really tough. It was not easy, but I truly believe that there is very important to do incremental progress, tiny daily steps every single day without stopping. It's way better to have huge plans and then start to work with full of enthusiasm and quit after 1 month. Way better is to work with irony, discipline every single day on a topic a little bit. It brings more result. And I need to say, after 11 years, we are now in a situation that either our prime minister is starting to use the short name, that the Associated Press style book implemented the short name in the AP style book, which is the most influential style book. Ice hockey, the Czech national sport, starting to use the short name. So we are making a huge progress, but it will be another 20 years to go until the people accept it, like the Czechoslovakia, which everybody was laughing about in 1920s, so that's the same story.
Yeah. Yes. And you mentioned about a very important topic of really fear. And I just want to touch upon, because nowadays we see a lot of uncertainties and ambiguities in whatever. I'm more also talking from, let's say, professional or the career as a point of view. So, and there is that little bit of fear, what's going to happen, whether I will have a job, not, or what's going to be future in terms of the company, my job, my career, etc. So, and people are, at least I come across many people who are either taking a decision based on the fear, or they are not able to handle the stress because of the fear. So, and since you talked about fear, so you must have really experienced some sort of stress. And how do you manage that stress, or how did you deal with that fear?
My life wasn't perfect all the time. And as most of the people, before you make a big change, you are going through a tough personal crisis. And mostly the personal crisis, because we are complacent people. And we simply stuck with our golden head cows, with the great salary in the corporate world and everything. And we are then reluctant to change something, even if we know the environment is not good for us anymore. So I was very grateful for everything I could learn in the corporate world, but I simply stayed put for too long, doing stuff which I didn't like and didn't enjoy, which led then to a middle severe depression. So I am big fan of positive affirmations, and positive affirmation is something which I'm using as a daily mindset exercise every day. So before I fall asleep, a short gratitude exercise, and then really a strong, probably 2-minute exercise of positive affirmation. I see happy clients leaving my trainings. I see companies signing contracts with me. I imagine all the positive stuff which is connected to my work. And the same exercise I do in the morning when I wake up. So first gratitude, I'm back. I didn't die at night. So I'm here. And then looking forward what the day is going to bring, a feeling of gratitude, and again, positive affirmation of the stuff which I was doing before I fell asleep. And this is, in my eyes, a very, very strong mechanism, and it's not esoteric bullshit. It's a tough exercise. It needs focus. It's the same like doing push-ups or squats, whatever. You simply need to do it. It's not like I think positively. Positive thinking is an esoteric bullshit, but it's an exercise of mind. And you, for sure, as Indian, with the whole tradition of meditation and yoga, can subscribe it. It's an exercise of mind, and this is not easy. But if you do it and do it on a regular basis, every single day, it definitely pays back. And I would claim my life is getting better and better and better constantly.
You're right, actually, because if you just keep it verbalizing it, saying it without really believing in it, or if you don't feel that positive inside, then however, how much you say, it's probably, it remains that cliche. Whereas what you need to do is really to feel it inside, and you have to believe in it, what you're saying. Then only probably you see the effect and the impact of it. That's what I understand. And you're absolutely right there. Yeah. So moving from the corporate world into your own business, and really you kind of establish yourself as the LinkedIn influencer, if I call you.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a real great shift, or the transformation that you've done. So how did that come up?
This was my first business idea, was to work as a career coach who is preparing people for the job interviews. But then I quickly realized that there is no market for it, or the market is not big enough to feed you, basically to create enough income. And then I was very lucky that someone recommended me a US coach who was like one of the LinkedIn gurus of this time. I would like to praise him here. His name is Tom Kent. And Tom was the first person who showed me how to use LinkedIn properly. And then I developed it from it, was working on it every single day, step by step. And today I would claim, yes, I have a pretty good idea how LinkedIn works, and it's such a powerful tool. So it was, again, a tiny steps development every day, doing something. It took me a lot of persistence to start to create my first LinkedIn content, because I was just simply thinking nobody would be interested in the stuff I'm saying. And I constantly compared myself to my sister. She writes like a Pulitzer Prize winner. So if I would like to put a good text together, I give her a draft and she rewrites it. I can say, wow, so beautiful can language be. And Tom told me, hey, stop comparing yourself to your sister. You have other qualities. Simply try to do this. So I started to write my first articles, and then learning by doing. And 3 years later, I have like 3,100 people who are following my newsletter. And if you ask me, I don't know why. So probably I'm giving people some value and they can learn something on it. And this should be This should be the reason. So if you go through my LinkedIn newsletter, I basically share freely all my know-how I have. No, nothing is hidden. So if you would like to learn something, get through the newsletter. A lot of content tips, networking tips. How can you do the most out of LinkedIn? Because I'm truly convinced that we should share our know-how freely, that there is enough of everything. There are enough customers. There is enough people who are going to be interested in your services. Don't sell anything to people. Listen to people, ask them smart questions, and the business will develop on its own. This is something I'm really strongly convinced about.
I'm fully with you on that. Sharing is caring. And yes, definitely share your know-how, share what you have. And that's exactly why I'm doing this as well, because like on internet, you can go and you can find a lot of information. There is a knowledge all over.
Yeah.
What I really appreciate is talking to people around me with whom I can connect and really learning from them, because that makes it much more real rather than just learning from some famous personalities, etc. But really looking at people around me and learning from them, that makes it much more real and connectable for me. Now, talking about LinkedIn, when I'm actually interacting with people in coaching or in their career transitions, I come across a lot of people who are either not convinced because they are scared to put themselves out on the social media. So what is it that, because as you say, you started using yourself after your corporate life. So what made you really believe that, okay, I need to go there, and how I need to present myself confidently?
I think it was the first training, which was really the eye-opener. And then if you start to think about yourself really in depth, then you realize which kind of skills you have. And I see it a lot in my daily practice as well, that a lot of my clients are blind for their own skills, because they simply take their skills for granted because they are used to it, that they have those skills. This is like the first story. If you get like a little bit one layer deeper and think about yourself and how would I present myself on LinkedIn without bragging, without pretending you are someone who you are not. This is a very, very useful exercise. And this is it all started. So you can present yourself in this fantastic platform in a way which is not bragging, but which is showing your true qualities. And then again, it's a step-by-step approach, every day a little bit, and you can earn some fruits later, and this is it. And for sure, I was working as a mentor in the company, mentor of qualified female migrants in Basel since 2007. So basically, I didn't start from scratch, from zero. It still took me like 2.5 years to set up the business to be up and running, that I can live out of it. So it's, again, there are no miracles, it's only dedication, focus, and hard work every day. And this is it. It's a rule of success is pretty simple. Find your purpose and work on it every day. And the end, you will be successful.
Yeah. And a couple of times, actually, you mentioned about taking small steps and doing that daily. So it's kind of forms the habit.
Yeah.
So if I may ask you, how much time do you daily spend on LinkedIn? And okay, I mean, I know it's a business part, but so it might be different, but only for, let's say, your own development.
I would say 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day of screening what's going on, reading other people, checking some people I am following, reading their contents, some commenting. If I find interesting content and I have really a strong opinion on it, then I comment it. And so I would say 30 minutes a day, plus minus. You cannot label it that clearly, because some of the work is done offline, because you are preparing some stuff, you are thinking about it, you are putting your newsletters together, whatever. But I think 30 minutes a day will basically do.
Excellent. Yeah. Great, Vaclav. I mean, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and there's a lot of information, knowledge that we always learn from you. So I know I can go on and on, but let's bring it all together. And first of all, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and coming on to talk to me. I really appreciate that. So thank you
Same here.
so
I
much.
thank you to giving me this platform.
Thank you so much. And we'll keep always talking to each other.